What's up, Ruthless Nation? Here we are Thursday evening. You know what that means. It is the Ruthless Racing Pro Series, and tonight we'll be taking on Watkins Glen as everybody's getting into the lobby and ready for qualifying. This will be a quick qualifying. I'll have the whole field out there. Looks like we'll have about 22 or so guys. Didn't really check there just now, but things are shaping up to have a big field here at Watkins Glen, and that could spell incident throughout the field. As we all know, big fields can cause big issues. But I want to thank anybody who tunes in. Please hit that like button if you do not care. Try to get this shared over on the Discord. Making sure we get everything in order here. As I mentioned, qualifying is underway. We will try to find, might just sneak in there and check out qualifying right quick. See what everybody's doing. I know JWoww's out there somewhere. He might tune in tonight. Just a good look at this group qualifying. Hopefully this lobby sticks together for us. Way we can have a nice, smooth camera transition experience. Looks like we're about halfway through qualifying here. Typical going to be the man to keep your eye on tonight, as he is known to be quite the competitor here at Watkins Glen. And there he is. He's about halfway through his qualifying effort. Tyler making himself a start here, as he is week to week, every other week. Big Ben coming off his best finish last week with a great pit strategy call at Kansas. So he's trying to keep the momentum going here at Watkins Glen. I'm sure even a top 5 here for that 6 team would be an awesome feat here at the Glen. Been hearing that the track feels a little tight this week, so we'll see how that transitions over into our race. Thanks everybody tuning in. Please hit that like button if you don't care. Having some technical difficulties. Looks like we're on the last lap of qualifying. Let's get back to Hollywood here. He'll be the first one through finished, I do believe. He probably did start off this field and qualifying. Jason, last week's winner, I believe he's looking to be the last one through qualifying here tonight. Nope, looks like several of them had finished ahead of Hollywood there. McLovin, for some reason, went down pit road, so these guys will be finishing up their laps. Looks like qualifying is over, so we will wait to see how this goes down. Thought I'd already posted it. I did. Hollywood's behind the 8 ball tonight, folks. Yeah, we're getting ready for Watkins Glen here. They just finished qualifying. But it'll be 45 laps at the Glen. We're waiting for these guys to get back into the lobby. We'll check out those qualifying results, see who's the West Higgins ORV pole sitter today. As we did have a first-time tie for the pole last week. Ended up going to Hollywood, but tie, typical, and Hollywood running the same lap, which is, about unheard of unless you're drafting at one of them big tracks. Alright, as we load back in to the lobby over here on the stream, off our reference stream, we'll see what some of these qualifying results are. Hollywood going to qualify all the way back in 4th. Jason did take over 5th. 3rd goes to McLovin. 2nd belongs to Parley, so I would imagine Typical probably got the pole. Just can't see it on here just yet. But yeah, we're looking at 3 stages here at the Glen. No pits in our first 2 stages. 2 pits required to get through the last stage. 45 laps in the daytime, turning left and right. Watkins Glen, notoriously known as the super speedway of road course racing in the NASCAR Cup Series. So we'll be looking forward to that. Typical was our pole sitter at a 1:05.119. So good on Typical. He does get the West Higgins ORV Pole Award for the Glen. Now he just needs to make it through this whole race, and he could get those bonus points if he wins. And that'll kind of help him out there in the West Higgins ORV Pole Award standings. Got a big field here tonight. 24 guys going to be trying their hand at it, so track position is going to be very crucial to what these guys have ahead of them. These first 2 stages have no pit stops, so you're going to be racing for your position. Somehow the Guardians covered my 1.5 spread. How about it? So far, Dub's in the chat. Looks like our lobby's still paused over there. Everything getting sorted out. Probably going over the race rules and such. Not really much to it here at Watkins Glen. Pretty straightforward. Pit road has its designated entrance and exit. Also, only going to have to use pit road twice in that final stage if we get there. Green flag stops here in Season 5 have not been a trend. It has really been run until the caution so far. But thanks to West Higgins ORV, our pole award sponsor, SKU Car, lifetime sponsor here for the Ruthless Racing Series. You can check out West Higgins ORV on YouTube, and you can check out SKU Car on Twitter. But we will be right back with the action whenever these guys start to get rolling. It'll be Watkins Glen, race number 7 here in Season 5 in the Ruthless Racing Pro Series, right here on the Ruthless Racing YouTube channel. All right, looks like the field's ready to rock. So we'll load in with these fellas. Hopefully everything stays smooth rolling here at the Glen. Right, as we mentioned, pretty straightforward here for our first 2 stages. Going to be racing all out, trying to get all the track position you can get for that final stint. We might see some guys try to cut the stages short, and or maybe just the second stage there to kind of get into the action in the third stage. Typical will start on the pole next to Parlee, followed by McLovin, Hollywood, and Kill Like Jason, your top 5. Right there is Showstopper. He's had some great runs in his own right here in Season 5. But we're off here at the Glen through turn number 1. So far back through there, everybody looks pretty good. Looks like nobody got really ran over through turn number 1. But that's going to be a different challenge whenever we get up to this bus stop. So far, everybody looks pretty smooth through here. Ooh, Dak Fu has a little bit of an issue there. He gets off to both sides of the bus stop. Doesn't have a great exit there. Jack Ballsy going to also try to take advantage of the 19's mishap through that bus stop. Seen some guys. Oh no, looks like Evil Elvis here has had an issue. Heavy nose damage there. Corey, we've seen him start in the back. Gets kind of ran off here and then turned next to last. But Typical starting to work on that lead as he goes through turn number 1. Now he will work up towards the S's. We have a little bit of discrepancy for track position there with the 34 of McLovin, but he's able to get it back in line. Hollywood moves up from 4th to 2nd here through lap number 1. Now the field's going to be all chasing down that 45. We have a good line of racing going down this backstretch. And like I said, the challenge here tonight will be getting through this bus stop. there's some contact with the 6 and the 47. Not sure who that is in that 47. Bow Hunter it is. Looks like a lot was going on ahead of those guys. 42 there of Viper, I think, kind of got off to the right side of the bus stop. Might have checked a few guys up, caused that contact through there. Oh, we've got a car around back here. That's the 11 of B. Nizzy's just sitting there menacingly. Kenrod might have got in on that as well. Do not believe we have any manual cautions on the road courses. So that will not be the case for anybody. But 9 laps to these first 2 stages with 7 remaining in stage number 1 right now. McLovin sort of losing his pace up to the front guys here of Hollywood and Typical. Got JY on the chat. Always good to see. Jason right there, a winner last week. Looking good here in 4th position, trying to run down that 34 of McLovin. He's got Tyler, though, right back there in the 1 showstopper in the 77 following suit as well. And not sure who we got there in the 51. Oh, Crimson Sky, there you go. I thought I had read maybe he wouldn't make the race this evening, but here he is. And so far he's in that top 10 conversation. Track position is going to be the utmost importance as he brings the battle to showstopper there through turn number 1. Oh, Kenrod, I guess the damage is too much for that 8 car. He'll have to go down pit road to start off this race. And it's probably not what he wanted to see happen here early on at the Glen, having to go down for some damage control. Shepard there in the 48. As he looks ahead at a mess going through the carousel. Good battle, though, there. He had Haybell. Oh, Ben through the bus stop. Gets turned around. Heavy damage. Going to be on the nose there for the 6 team. Not what they wanted to see happen. This will affect some guys coming up on him. There's B. Nizzy. We saw him there next to that last turn. Turned around just a few laps ago. Looks like Dak has overcome some of his hardships as he's starting to work his way back up through this field. Here we have Viper and Gillians going at it. Thanks to everybody tuning in. Please hit the like button. If you're new here, please subscribe to the Ruthless Racing YouTube channel. Ruthless Nation is the best nation. Also, if you're interested in our Discord, we also got that going on. Just let us know in the chat if you need that link. Typical, though. He's all but signed the checkout slip here in stage number 1. There's Hollywood, closest car behind him. Nearly this whole straight shoot down. We should see Typical through both turns before we see Hollywood. Nope, looks like Typical might have had an issue there through these this last set of turns. Might have got the wall there as well. Parlee here so far, the biggest loser, starting out on 2nd. And he finds himself back here battling for the back part of the top 10. But the race on the track belongs to this group right here. This is working up towards the top 5. As Tyler finds his way around Jason there, last week's winner. Looks like all these guys figured it out with 4 laps remaining here in stage number 1. They know racing each other like that will not gain them any positions. Crimson, though, rounding up this top 5 right now. But he's got the 9 and the 2 right there behind him. Any mistake will cost you some spots here at this point of the race. Dan, the man there in the 9, makes a move around to the outside. Or inside, which way ever you look at it. Once again, thanks to everybody tuning in. Stage 1 here at the Glen with 3 to go now. Oh, looks like Haybell and Parlee will try to flip the stage for the track position in stage 2. Now it would be a call to where you would have to take half a can. Both of these guys on Team Penske, so that might have been a team call here to do so. Try to get that positioning. That call will require you to go back down pit road under stage brake just to get a half can of fuel to make it through the next stage. Looks like Dak has moved himself up ahead of all those guys that he was trying to fight as he gets kind of sideways here going into the bus stop. So far, so good for everybody, though. We just had a few isolated incidents here or there, and very easily done there in the bus stop section of this course for sure. Oh, Bow Hunter there goes plowing through the bus stop, but I don't think that was of any help to what he's trying to accomplish here. Ooh, possibly 34 McLovin there finding some wall. Camera angle was a little odd. Hollywood here, I think, has had some issues unless he also flipped this stage and I just missed it. He finds himself back here in the top 10 somewhere. Possibly an issue for the 21 team. Might put McLovin here in second place. Typical's passing, looks like Corey there in the 31. So that'll be a lap down for one of our guys so far. Not sure who that is there next to him. That's the 8 of Kenrod. We saw him go down pit road, so he was a lap down as well. And I think he'll be that free pass that we're looking for. Typical's looking to be the supreme leader of Watkins Glen, as to my knowledge, other than him maybe lagging out of a race, he has been fairly dominant here in all of his starts. So that'll be something these guys are looking at. You know, they're going to have to pressure this 45 on the restarts to these stages to really try to force his hand into traffic. Knowing that he'll have to pit after this stage, that may also play into the favor of some of these guys who didn't, who will only have to take half a can of fuel here on the stage break. Jason has won that battle over McLovin there. And there you have it. Ty will finish stage number 1 as your winner. This will come under caution now. Looks like Jason possibly going to take second place here. I'm not quite sure on that, with McLovin finishing third. Maybe Crimson there getting fourth position. As we'll try to see who got behind him. Looks like Dan the Man was the guy who finished there, rounding up the top 5. So now the field will come under caution as stage 1 is complete. Not the stage that some of these guys wanted to see for sure, but we're going to see how that flipping the stage is going to work for a few guys here in this one. Hopefully we can get a view of our top 10 before we go back green. Yeah, looks like typical Jason, McLovin, Crimson, Dan the Man, as we had mentioned, was your top 5. Showstoppers, Sooner, Tyler, Shepard, and Hollywood, your top 10. I'm not sure how Hollywood chose to use that stage, but now you see Typical going to be starting in third here for the restart. And on the pole for stage number 2 will be Haybell. Typical jumps out to the outside, tries to get around him. Parlee quickly out there, doesn't want Typical getting that outside line cranking. Oh! Possibly some damage there on the rear end of the 2 now that the 45. Oh, and I don't know if he's lagging or what. Field got stacked up pretty heavy there through turn number 1. See Dak Fu once again back there, sort of in trouble. But he's looking okay now as they go down this back stretch. Bus stop point of interest tonight for sure. A lot of guys try to gain as much speed as they can through there. And everybody wanting that track positioning. As this is a straight race. Hollywood able to save some points there in stage number 1. He did finish 10th position. So far, flipping the stage was a good look. Typical is lagging, unfortunately, here. He's got 3 wide ahead of him, doesn't know where to really go or put the car. And looks like we're under caution here. Not sure where this accident took place. Oh, Hollywood's got some heavy damage. Looks like him and Ben may have gotten into it somewhere back here. So usually not what we're used to seeing at the Glen is getting a caution. Now this could possibly extend that last stage, but there is 2 pit stops to get through, so it may not change things all that much. But a caution has waved here in stage number 2 at the Glen. That'll cut a very short stage down by at least 2 or 3 laps, and that'll be something to look at whenever we get back going here. Flipping the stage did work out for some of these guys. You can see Typical has all kinds of traffic ahead of them right now. Harley was in first. We'll start first here for this restart. Typical is back there in 4th position. He kind of gets out of line there to sort of not mess up anyone's restarts. But down into turn number 1, heavy goes Parley, and he'll take the lead. Oh, looks like Gillian's had to use a runoff there here in turn number 1, as he's going to be in bad shape for this restart. That is not what you want to do starting off early at the Glen. Oh, we got another wreck here through the S's. Typical there in the 45. Oh, and he's got Kenrod there in the 8, all sorts of messed up. That does bring out another caution. And as you know, cautions breed cautions. These guys were already around to the bus stop. Now, Typical stage 1 winner, won it in dominant fashion, and now he has got a new style of Jordan with all that scraping on that 45 machine. This will probably start him all the way in the rear, so maybe not the worst of things for everyone else, as we did see a little bit of that lagging coming out to play there in the 45. Parley, we had mentioned, probably the biggest loser in stage number 1 with how he had dropped back so far in the field there. But right now he's led most of stage number 2 due to these cautions. And Typical did get put all the way to the rear here. He'll be behind everyone now, as unfortunately he'll have to deal with that damage. Crimson Sky up here on the point with Parley as we get going again at the Glen here in stage number 2. 2 laps remain. It is a shootout here for stage number 2. You see how everybody respects their boundaries, as this is the best chance for stage points for some of these guys, as they've seen all day, and we are like nearly 5 wide back here around the end of the top 10, and see if these guys can get through these S's without any complications. Pretty good there for those guys. I mean, we saw 4 wide coming out of turn number 1, coming up to them S's. With only 2 to go, these guys are all fighting for about 1 point back here. Oh no, Gillians looks like he'll have to serve a penalty back there. Let's see if that messes up anybody's day back there. For the most part, looks like everybody comes out of there missing that 12th car. He gets back going actually ahead of some guys, so that'll be interesting to keep an eye on. Parley is your leader by a good margin. Has McLovin back there. It's 1 to go here in stage number 2 at the Glen. Pretty quick start to this race after 2 cautions in stage 2, caution free in stage 1. We saw some guys flip the field in stage 1, and this has kind of led to a little bit of mayhem. Hollywood finds himself kind of stuck here. I don't know if he's even a part of the top 10 right now. He was part of one of them cautions here in stage number 2. Had some heavy damage there on the nose of that 21, working down to the inside of Bowhunter in the 47. Here's the battle for first place. McLovin on the rear end of Parley. This is the last lap of stage number 2. This is for all the stage points up front right now. 10 of them to be exact. Crimson unfortunately drops back a position here behind McLovin. Pretty good set of last turns there for the 34. Could make a move here. They'd have to dive it in there, but not going to do so. And Parley will be your stage 2 winner here from the Glen. McLovin, Crimson, Showstopper, and Boomer, your top 5. Everybody else comes through here in stage number 2. But your winner, Parley, in the 17, flips the stage in stage 1, gets that track position and a few cautions to go his way. So now we're looking at about 24 laps here on the last, in the last stage. So maybe they might, because with caution sometimes it will add a little bit there. Hollywood not making the points. Here in the second stage. Parley, McLovin, Crimson, Bowhunter. Yep, we had all those right. Now Showstopper, or I'm sorry, Haybell, going to start on the point for stage number 3. Typical is up there as well. Let's see if he's able to keep things clean. He's looking to do something here with strategy as he got pushed all the way back to the field. Hollywood moves from 11th to 4th here for the restart. Haybell goes out way wide. Turn number 1 is not able to take advantage of that first starting position here in stage number 3. This is going to be a battle for all the position. There is some pit stops here though. 23 laps to be made. I think it added an extra lap here onto this. I think fuel tank is 11, so these guys are going to have to save a half a lap of run. I don't think we'll be adding another pit stop here for the end of this race. So it'll be interesting to see what some of these guys choose to do. Got some good racing here about the mid of our pack and top 10. Oh, we do have a caution. Not really sure who that was on. That will maybe eliminate one of the pit stops there. Oh, B Nizzy got some heavy damage there. Possibly the 18 at SMAF as well. 99 with some damage. All these guys could have been a part of that. But now these guys are going to have to go down pit road, I do believe. Take what they can, fresh tires, fuel. This probably, like I said, eliminate one of those pit stops. So not a trend that we're used to here in this Pro Series in Season 5 is getting to a green flag pit stop. One of our very few happened last week at the end of the race. And we saw what that did for a couple of guys. Ben and Jason, for sure, on their strategies, was able to make something of it. Now to be typical in Hollywood here for the restart here in stage number 3. And typical is going to have his hands full if Hollywood can make this thing interesting on the inside of the 45, and he does. Coming down through turn number 1 with 19 laps remaining. Hollywood's looking to take the lead on the inside. Can't do it. It's got the 34 McLovin right there as they work their way up to the S's. Top 5 has got it sorted out pretty quickly. We look back here through the top 10. Got a couple of cars door to door, but mostly everybody getting in the single file order. Hollywood doesn't have a good bus stop. Knocks the 34 McLovin out to the left side. That allows Boomer and Parley to get around. Parley, your stage 2 winner. Flipped that stage number 1, was able to hang on to it through the cautions. Another caution here in stage number 3. Allowed Typical to get back out to the front there, so that's something that Typical did not want to see, was that caution. But maybe he did. Maybe he didn't take everything on pit road, and that allowed him to go down and make a full pit stop here under that caution here in stage 3. Typical is running to put a clean sweep on the race. as far as the pole award through West Higgins RRV is concerned. "18 laps of mayhem here at the Glen remain. If this race stays green, we should see everybody pitting around 8 to go, which is quite a few laps at a road course indeed, but these guys are running about 105s. Maybe some of these guys will touch the 104 mark here in this race. So that's something we'll keep our eye on afterwards. Kind of see that 45 up there. He is sort of lagging here or there, but like we said, he needed to be out front to kind of get that clean air. He has probably one of the fastest cars, if not the fastest car at the Glen. Is owner of the all-time lap here at the Glen on NASCAR Heat 5. Not sure exactly what happened to Hollywood in stage 1, but he was in 10th position at the end of it. Not sure if he tried to flip it or what. But we did see Parley flip it and was able to take that track position into a stage 2 win. Not really much strategy to it though here in stage number 3. Just need to get through to that pit stop and have a clean pit stop. Like Dak Fu back there got kind of pushed through the bus stop. Felt like he's been sort of bullied here in this one. There in that 19 car. Saw Kenrod had that heavy damage earlier. Don't know if he got his lap back or what. That was a good battle here with Boomer Sooner. Got Parley there as well with Tyler trying to make a move down on the outside here of that 7 car. 17 also going to try to take advantage there. Gives a little bump to the 7 through turn number 1. Tyler way out to the left side. That allows the 7 to draw even here for the S. Maybe he let out of it there. Does not want to be door to door on that right side through these S's. Parley, not afraid, goes down to that inside portion here. He's going to be looking to make a move into the bus stop. Oh, not sure what happened there with the 17. Maybe a little bit of a lag. And yeah, that's what I'm seeing here from the 17 as he possibly goes around there. Oh, he's having all sorts of issues. What's up, Jimmy? Thanks for joining the chat as always. Good to see you. Kenrod's down pit road for that pit stop. I think that was a little early unless the call was made for 2 pit stops still. We're doing great here, Jimmy. Even better that we got some guys here in the chat with us. Appreciate everybody who's tuned in. Please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to Ruthless Racing. Oh, B Nizzy around once again. Very similar spot to where he was earlier. This will force some guys into a situation there that, you know, running the line they're not accustomed to. There goes the 11 down pit road now. Oh, the 12 of Gillians goes hard down into the inside in turn number 1. A very unusual place to have your car spin out. Is down into the dirt there. You can see his tire marks going through the inside of turn number 1. Typical still got himself a well of a lead here. As, I think, nope, Hollywood had some sort of issue again. Finds himself back in traffic. Hollywood known to be a good road course racer in his own right, but tonight not looking too hot for the man in the 21. Only 1 stage point through the 2 stages so far and finds himself sitting in 4th position. Still going to have a pit stop to get through though. Parley, another guy just not having the day that he wants. We saw him having some issues there through the bus stop last time by. Typical though, looking good so far. Tyler's moved up the track a considerable amount. He's sitting in 2nd. You can see he's got himself a great space back there to 3rd position. But Typical has, like I said, all but signed the checkout slip. Typical already in the carousel as these guys just now got through the bus stop. I'm upstream a little bit behind there. But, you know, Typical is got himself about this whole back straightaway there coming into our last turns. He has about that much of a gap from these guys. So let's see off the front of Tyler's car if he can see Typical up through there. Looks like Typical's already crested the hill down in turn number 1. Yeah, he's about the whole front straightaway away from these guys. So 45, I think, just has to make that one pit stop. I think that's all we're looking at that's left here at the Glen, as everybody on track right now have 13 laps remaining. So in about 2 laps, these guys could start pitting and make it to the end. I think a short pit would be in order for a few of these guys, especially if I'm in all this traffic back here. I think I go down with about 11 to go, maybe 10 to go. Try to undercut some guys, get back out there and just keep myself away from them. It's sort of going to be the strategy for a few of these guys to be able to get themselves some much needed points. We have large fields every week now here in Season 5, and that is the biggest conversation throughout all the racing, is track position. There's your leader, the 45 Stage 1 winner. Had issues there in stage number 2. Not sure if he got points or not, but right now he's looking good for stage 3, as long as there's no more cautions. It should be good to go. 17 sort of having the issues that we are typical of seeing out of the 45. No pun intended. This is the battle for second. Tyler must have had an issue there. He had himself quite the spacing between himself and third position. But now McLovin's sitting in the driver's seat for second place. He does have Tyler right there, and they're allowing Hollywood to sort of get back up here into this race as well for a top 3 position. It's going to be interesting to see how these guys choose to do these pit stops. There's Typical with a well of a lead on the field. He's only grown it since we last mentioned. Haybell already down pit road. Now I think that might be a little early for pitting. It's already about 30 seconds. Oh, there goes McLovin through the bus stop, not having himself a good time through there. As we get into the carousel, this allows Hollywood to sort of battle the doors off the 1 car. As he goes way out there off the carousel, and he ends up getting back in front of this 21 car. There is 11 laps remaining, so my bad on Haybell talking about his strategy there. And these guys are going to go down pit road. I don't know if Tyler got in there or not. He went in there a little hot. Here comes the rest of the field. Now at this point, I think you do stay out. Yeah, if you're a few of these guys, you just sort of stay out. Did see Kenrod pit earlier, possibly for some more damage control. Now these guys in this part of the race are all stuck together coming down pit road. So we need a quick pit stop from the pit crews here. We'll keep our eye on that 1 car. We thought maybe he went in there a little hot for that pit stop. Typical already down and off pit road, so that'll finish his stops for the day. And they'll need some green flag racing to get this thing going the way it should be. And Tyler does come out on time with everybody else, but him and Hollywood have a similar pit stop. They will be door to door coming out of the pits, and that's not what you want here at the Glen. And they come off with a little bit of discrepancy, but so far so good. Oh, Hollywood's into the wall. Not sure what that was about. Not sure how that happened. That was weird. Not used to seeing that happen, to be honest. Could have looked a lot different on their screens, but Hollywood doesn't have a good bus stop either, and that's going to hurt them. Don't know if that damage is just visual or if it is actually physical for that 21 car, but I knew coming off pit road door to door like that is not what you want to see here, especially at the Glen. It's such a tight pit road exit. Typical though, through that pit stop, came down as soon as he could take that fuel that he needed. Now for everybody who stayed down, there'll be 9 to go whenever they come off pit road. Sorry, everybody who stayed out, rather. See Parley trying to take no prisoners here. Jason goes down pit road right now. Not sure if anybody was able to take the lead from Typical through that pit cycle until he's able to come back around. There's some heavy damage there on that 45. We had seen him get into some incidents earlier. Not sure if something just happened to him or not. He is still in the lead. Not sure if those cars behind him are... yeah, that is that mess back there. So I think Typical had an issue here after his pit stop, because these guys have definitely cut the gap down just a tad. We've seen the incident here between the 1 and the 30, or sorry, the 1 and the 21 coming off pit road. McLovin, though, was not able to take advantage of that. No burnout rule tonight. Everybody's racing through to the checkered flag. This is the battle for second. Going down to this bus stop so close to one another. That's not what you want. You can see Tyler right there possibly got a little bump from the 21. He'll go around. Hollywood up to second. Now right back down to the inside goes Tyler. We've seen him have a good exit here on the carousel. Oh, that is just some lagging here out of the 21. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully that's not throughout the whole field here. Good racing there between Big Ben and G-Dog. Big Ben coming off his best finish, as we mentioned earlier, at Kansas. G-Dog, a former winner here in the Pro Series last season. Beating Izzy out of the race. He's had a tough go at it all day. Possibly just some mechanical damage was not able to be fixed. Typical starts to find some traffic now. He'll come around and take 6 to go here. Right there on the board with Typical. And so we saw that 7 of Boomer. He was up there contending in this top 5. Now he finds himself like this. Typical's trying to get around this traffic. Might have slowed him up just a tad. 99 goes through the grass. That'll definitely slow him up. That'll allow the 7 to get around him. Down into this heavy braking area for the bus stop. Hollywood up to second, knowing he needs those points. With Typical out here, oh, the 34 McLovin sideways through the bus stop. He's got Showstopper coming up on him quick and needs to get that thing back rolling. Looks like he will. That'll kind of put him out of contention there for that top 3. Now it'll be between Hollywood and Tyler for this top 3 here. Still need Typical to make a mistake to kind of have another shot at this. You can see how different it is between. There's Hollywood right now. We'll say he's at the line, and there's Typical coming out of turn 1. So you can see he's got quite the spread here on the rest of the field. It'll be 5 to go now here from the Glen. And we knew this would be a tough race. Ben and G-Dog been going back and forth at it here in the back half of our race. Viper and Dak Fouve try to figure things out. Hendrick versus JCR there, as Shepard's just ahead of those two. Good battle here between the 6 and the 24, going down the back stretch into the bus stop. Kenrod back down pit road again, figured he'd have to make another pit stop. Crimson, another guy's had himself a great run, kind of finds himself at the back part of the top 10 now. Hollywood's starting to put himself some separation between himself and third place of Tyler. Oh, there goes Hollywood here through the bus stop, not so well. And that allows Tyler to go through and take second place. Oh, and another turn by McLovin back there in the bus stop. And that really ruins what would have been a good finish for him. Unless a caution were to come out here at some point, it's coming down to it. Hollywood's going to have to redo all that work to get back up there to Tyler. Not what you're used to seeing out of that 21 car. There's typical exiting turn 1. These guys here are just now crossing the line. Look for a stream to get around for a lap count. We're down to it though. Most certainly getting into the area of no more overtime, especially if it takes that white flag, because next flag would end the race. It's a battle between Tyler and Hollywood for second place. And we got quite the battle back here for the rest of the top 5. I think that's Haybell. It's 3 to go for Typical. Be 2 to go when he hits the line. He does not want to see any cautions. You do not want to have a 2-lap shootout at the Glen. That would spell mayhem, most certainly. Especially with 24, I guess now 23 guys on the track. I think this is Haybell here for 4th position. Might be a lap car here in the 99. Sorry in saying so if not the case. Crimson right there as well in that 51 machine. Tyler still has second place right now as Hollywood comes into the bus stop really quick. Coming through there very fast. Was not able to make up much time there on Tyler, though. Tyler had a great exit through the end of the bus stop through the carousel. Now the 21 very much on offense. Oh, showstoppers around here in the carousel. He backs her up, gets her out of the way. That will ruin a great run for him now, unfortunately. Thanks to everybody tuning in. We're coming down to it here. Should be 1 to go, presented by Skew Car. Any cautions now will do you no good, as that will be the end of the race. It's their last shot at glory here. Top 3 belongs to Typical, Tyler, and Hollywood. Sort of a last-ditch effort for a man in the 21 to get back up to that second place. Had a good lead there on the 1. Had an incident through the bus stop, got sideways. And that allowed Tyler to get through there. Oh, 18's around now through the bus stop. Hollywood has to kind of cut things around and serve that stop and go. It's good on Hollywood that knowing that he had to do that. And there's Typical, your winner at the Glen. Takes stage one, takes the pole, takes the last lap to be your winner. Tyler will come across in second here at the Glen. Needed that really good finish. Third belongs to Hollywood. Keep our eye on this group right here. This bunch is finishing out the race. So that's all she wrote for the Glen tonight, folks. It was a quick one with a few cautions. Sort of coming to terms here. Big Ben's still yet to finish. He's got a car just ahead of him. Not sure where that 6 car is going to be finishing. Oh, it looks like about 14 is where he'll finish. He did win the battle over that 24, though. In the end, not the points day that the 6 team was hoping off such a great performance last week. Let's get our results here. Typical, Tyler, Hollywood, Haybell, and Crimson, your top 5. McLovin, Dan the Man, Parlee, Shepard, Dak Fu, your top 10. Viper, Showstopper, Bowhunter, Big Ben. That was through 14th. 15th belongs to G-Dog, then Jack Ballsy. Jason finishing 17th, Sir Gillians in 18th. A lap down from here on back. Looks like Boomer in 19th, top 20. Couldn't see who got the top 20, to be honest. Looks like S-Math will finish in the top 20. Evil Elvis, Kenrod, and then Corey finishing with 2 laps down there. All right, so Typical with another dominating win here in the Pro Series. From the Glen did have that issue in second stage where everybody flipped it on him. Now we'll just wait for those post-race interviews. Let's take a look at our fastest lap. Was Typical did hit a 4. Next closest guy, almost a full second back of Hollywood. Jason with the 3rd fastest lap here. 4th fastest goes to your 2nd place finisher of Tyler. And then Dan the Man rounding up the top 5 in lap times there with the 105.952. So now we'll get back over here to our screen with the cars. Looks like we got to get on Reddick. Not Reddick, I'm sorry. I'm not even sure who is the 45 in this one, to be honest.
It's Kurt.
Yeah, Kurt Busch. There you go. All right. So we do have Typical in here. Winner here from the Glen. Had the pole as well. So we saw what we would have imagined in stage number 1. You got out there and won that stage, but a few guys flipped the stage, and I had mentioned, those guys flipping the stage would kind of put you in traffic, and then that's where we saw some issues there in stage 2 for you. So, pretty straightforward stage 1, but what happened there in stage 2 after you got in the rear, and then what was you able to do under that stage break to kind of finish up or to restart up at the front for stage 3, and then what was your strategy under that caution at the beginning of stage 3?
Yeah, it wasn't really traffic. That wasn't the problem. The problem was I was on Jason's quarter panel, and I thought he was gonna leave me room to get under him, and he chalked my nose a little bit, but it shouldn't have been there to begin with, and my front left tire just caught the apron and spun me, and I think 10 or 15 people ended up hitting me. So caution came out, and I just decided to take full fuel, 4 tires, start in the back, and for the rest of that stage, I just stayed in 5th gear, rode around, didn't burn any fuel or tires because I don't know, I wasn't gonna drive through the field in 2 laps, so I flipped it just like they did and started P2 on that restart. And then just when the other caution came out on stage three, just same thing, same plan that I had the whole time, just stay in the front and drive away. It's pretty much just what happened.
Yeah, so I kind of thought maybe you did flip it there, but wasn't too sure about it. Um, Nonetheless, kind of expected this from you at the Glen. Uh, Looked a little shaky there in that stage two, not gonna lie, but you were able to overcome it. So, congratulations on another win here in the Pro Series. Good run for you here at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, I had to make up for last week. Last week was pretty terrible, but I'm glad I put some work in this week. So I'm glad my practice paid off this time. So good run, Tyler and Hollywood. You guys have good cars.
All right, there was your winner here from the Glen. Typical, also your pole sitter and stage one winner. Let's get back here to Tyler in the one machine. Now, Tyler, you didn't really start in a good spot here at the Glen, but you were able to put that hot rod in some good positions. Stage points might not have been perfect, but nonetheless, you're able to get second. Had a very hard fought battle with Hollywood there in stage three, sort of just switching back and forth. I mean, there was some other guys there as well, but some isolated incidents kind of dropped them out of the running. Uh, you know, guy like yourself being every other week, you kind of needed a strong finish like this. So just speak on what it took here at the Glen to get yourself up into that second position and bring home all of those points.
Yeah, uh, stage one was kind of battling adversity going through up the field after my poor qualifying effort. Just trying to play it smart, letting guys make their mistakes in front of me going through the field. Watched Hollywood spin out going to the bus stop. Last lap, trying to make it the second with McLovin. It felt like I had a faster car than he did throughout all that stage, and I ended up doing the same thing that Hollywood had done. Flipped that inside wall, spun out through the bus stop, penalty, whatever. Rally back to I believe like eighth place. So I mean, still got a little bit of stage points, and then stage two with all them cautions didn't really have a whole lot of time to get up through the field without being aggressive, and I felt like it was too early to be aggressive, and kind of wasn't trying to make enemies on stage two, all stages. Um, Trying to get my way back up there, so kind of settled for where it was at, just kind of playing the short game there, and stage three is that's it's the end of the race. It's where all the money happens, and was a bit more aggressive, making moves that I typically wouldn't have done stage one, stage two to get by some guys. A couple guys wrecking in front of me, and guys slowing up because they're racing side by side and taking advantage of those and passing down the back stretch and front stretch and back stretch, whatever the case would have been. Um, I want to give a big shout out to McLovin for having a very, very solid car, very solid race. He ended up feeling what it was like for me in Hollywood on stage one, hitting that inside wall and kind of ruined him, in the race. I was like, man, it sucks that you did that, but it's nice for me because I don't have you breathing down my neck. Now I can worry about catching Hollywood. Um, Throughout the whole track, I felt like I had a really, really solid car till it came down to the bus stop. You know, all throughout this week, I was nailing the bus stop until I had that one incident, and I think that was like in my mind checking me up. Racing for points, racing not just for the team points, but also for my own points, trying to get myself into the playoffs because I believe right now I'm outside the bubble. So I was trying to give myself a solid day too, and I didn't want any sorts of issues with that, so I knew the bus stop was going to be the killer because that's where everyone else was killing themselves. So I was just kind of playing it safe going through there, and I noticed I was checking up a lot of guys because they were sending it in. They're harder than I was. Hollywood himself, I feel like those last 3 laps while racing with him was the detriment towards him because you can't pass me if you're not next to me. But I was breaking way earlier and just kind of grannying my way through that thing, trying to keep my car straight as possible. But all in all, I mean, it's a good car, great car. I want to give a giant giant shout out to the one and only legendary MJ Bros for helping me out with this car this week. Car was dialed up until that little bit of damage that I had with my own teammate, front end damage. I didn't end up fixing it down pit road. Track position's big. 1 second of damage was going to hurt me. I feel like that might have been hurting me the most going through the bus stop, but either or, consistency was the biggest thing, and seeing it out of the 45, how consistent he run, and that guy was the class of the field. Like someone mentioned earlier, it's like now I know how everyone felt not being Kyle Larson at the Roval, and it was completely accurate when it came to this race. But congratulations to Typical for winning that race, and glad us three can get back up in the booth. My predictions were not accurate, but almost accurate. I was predicting the 45, the 21, and the 1, and got flip-flopped there in the back. So, all in all, great day. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Good points today for you for sure. Congratulations on getting that second place. Big for-year playoff hunt. Now we'll move on over to the 21. Not sure what you did in stage one. You was only able to pull away with the 10th place there. Not sure if you try to flip it with some of the other Penske guys that we saw. But in stage two, we saw you miss the points. Possibly, I think we saw you and Ben actually get in an accident, one of your teammates there. So just kind of speak on your first two stages. And then you had yourself quite a bit of a gap there between yourself and Tyler, and just had some issue there with the bus stop at the end. We saw you kind of battle yourself back up to the back of the one there, then had to serve that stop and go penalty there on the last lap, which ultimately sealed the deal with where Tyler was. So just try to speak on your race and sort of what were some of the issues that you were experiencing out there.
Yeah, I mean, stage one, we had the same, or I had the same thing happen to me that happened at the end of the race there. I don't know, just ran a ton of laps this week, and I had a pretty good feel for what I thought the bus stop was going to be like, and I hadn't touched my car or anything, and just really had issues going through there the whole night. I don't really know why. I was running it the same way, hitting the same marks. I was just getting caught on the curbing. Some NASCAR Heat 5 type shit. But, yeah, so that happened in stage one, and, we had a lot of, the field gets strung out, so I spun around, kept it going, had a little bit of damage, was able to hold off Dak for 10th, and then had to fix that damage, got thrown to the rear. We got coming to the last turn, you come out of 7 or whatever it is, the left-hander to the right-hander back to the front stretch, came out of that left-hander, and there was just cars sitting on the track, so it just ran straight into them, fixed the damage there, and then there was that next caution through the S's that me and Gillian's got through, and that kind of put me up farther, but it didn't allow me to get stage points. And so I just took fuel to start that last stage and get my track position back. And then stage 3 was just more of the same. It was a battle up front between us, but I knew if I was hitting my marks, I was going to be the second fastest car in the race, and Typical was going to do what he did. I just expected to be a little bit closer to him, and just the inconsistency through the bus stop. You can't blame that on anybody else or the game, really. If you go through there on the track, there's not as many glitches. So, that 2 tires over rule is kind of what we run. And I don't know. I was fine all week in practice, but I guess I was just pushing the limits during the race, and it just didn't work out. So to come away third after probably 5 or 6 different incidents is a win in my book. So I'm gonna take the points and get ready for some domination at Daytona. Thank you for broadcasting, Stu. Thank you to all the fans that watched tonight, and make sure to check out the GT7 races that were ran yesterday. Um, they'll be back next Wednesday. Where are you at? What track?
Yeah, we'll be back in the GR3 cars there. It'll be a season finale for the Ruthless GT Pro Series, and we'll be
There you
taking
go.
on Highway 1. Little
So
take on the coastal
both
highway.
both regular season finales go down next week right here on the Ruthless Racing YouTube. Um, they'll be on the coast driving on the cliffs, and we'll be on the other coast drafting on the high banks of Daytona. So sounds like a good week. Um, can't wait to get it down there and put on some good racing coming up. But anyways, Chad, typical. I mean, everybody knows he's the best road course racer I've seen personally, and I've been around for a little bit, and I just bro's on a different level when we go to these tracks. Uh, it's just crazy. But anyways, that's it.
All right, yeah, pretty much what Hollywood said. Go back, catch that race from those two races from last night. Um, we saw the rally race. It was a good show there until Snowman was able to get out into the lead. Then we had the race at sort of the GT7 style Bristol. That was a really good race in itself. I mean, it was competitive all the way throughout. So that was a good race to catch. And then if you're just now tuning in for this one, make sure you wind it back and watch all that action. I mean, we had a few cautions here and there, which kind of brought some parity throughout the field, especially there in stage two. But it was a good race here tonight. We're going to have a couple of great races next week as well. Like Hollywood mentioned, both season finales for the GT Pro and the Ruthless Racing Series right here on the Ruthless Racing YouTube channel. But everybody enjoy the rest of Thursday night football, of what little bit of football is actually being played, and enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your NASCAR races. Playoffs move on here for the Cup Series in NASCAR, and then yeah, as always, Ruthless Nation is the best nation. So rock on, race on, Ruthless Racing.